A quick editor's note before we get started going down this list. I made the graphics that display the prices for these games several days ago, and then when finishing up this video doing the audio recording part, a bunch of the games went on sale on Steam for the autumn sale. So I will, in the audio, mention any of the games that have discounted prices currently, but that will not be showing visually in the graphics.
Welcome back, everyone, to this month's Portmaster Roundup video, where I go through every single game, whether it's good or not, every single game that was released on Portmaster this past month. Based on that intro, I assume you can tell there's some games on this list that I'm not particularly excited about, but for the case of this being a news show and wanting to just showcase everything that has come out and not leave anything out on Portmaster, I'm showing it all, even the bad ones. That being said, there are a lot of good games. There were a freaking ton of games that came out this month. This video is probably going to be released a little bit late because there were so many games and I didn't have time. So stick around. A lot of good games. Some bad, but a lot of good games came out this month, so enjoy.
Warzone 2100 is an open-source 3D real-time strategy game with a story-driven single-player campaign, online multiplayer, offline skirmish, and more. Command the forces of the project in a battle to rebuild the world after mankind has been nearly destroyed by nuclear missiles. So because of the combination of the controls not being the best for this device, this game was really meant to be played on a PC. So the controls combined with the fact that I really didn't know what I was doing, I didn't do a good job of showcasing this one, but I do think it looks like a very fun game. I do like RTSs. This game was ported by Hades Arcadius and Royal Jupiter, and it is ready to run. Super Mario 64 Co-op DX is a game based on the Super Mario 64 engine and modified to have multiplayer and mods. It was developed by Agent X with the help of over 50 contributors. It was ported by Code Hex Forever, and this port will require you to supply your own legally acquired ROM file of Super Mario 64. A cozy Game Boy Advance-inspired pinball game with a dating sim progress system. Hit specific targets to access cutscenes and events with your date. There are 300 plus unique events to explore, so you'll always have something new. I agree, that is a strange combination of game. It looks well made though. Pinball Crush was developed by Try500 on itch.io. It was ported by Tab Return, who notes that Rocknix users must use Panfrost to run this game. And this game's completely ready to run. Control the mouse and aim for the goal. Each stage has 5 coins scattered throughout, so try to collect as many as you can. Clear all 20 stages and collect at least 70 coins. Numad Dash is an arcade platformer developed by Nizakashi. You'll be seeing a lot of him this month. It was released this January. It was ported by Mad Schmupper, and you can download the game files for free from itch.io. A vertical scrolling shoot-'em-up made to pay homage to Image Fight, featuring 7 stages, arcade mode, and 3 minutes score attack caravan mode. I'm not sure what that means. Image Striker 2 was developed by Terrarin. It was ported by Ganamoth, and the game is listed as name your own price on itch.io, meaning that you could download it for free if you wanted to, or you can give a donation to the developer. The peaceful and beautiful island of Rosantica is under threat once more by relentless evil. The magical barrier between Rosantica and the Scourge has started to crack, allowing dangerous creatures to slowly seep back in and try to take over the island. Flynn stumbles upon this invasion and discovers he must stand up against the Scourge to stop its spread into Rosantica. Accompanied by his mythical companion Dex, guardian spirit of the land, Flynn will be challenged by the evil from the Scourge and its powerful overlord. Flynn, Son of Crimson, is an action-adventure platformer developed by Studio Thunderhorse. And man, they put some beautiful pixel art in this game. I really have a thing for good pixel art. It was ported by Fraxinus88, and it requires the GOG files to run. On GOG, it has a 4.2 out of 5 stars and can be picked up for $19.99. Devil Spire is a hardcore first-person, pseudo-3D roguelite, action RPG dungeon crawler, that's a mouthful, stylized after retro PC games, developed by a guy and his bros while locked in quarantine, inspired by classics like Kingsfield and Heretic. Devil Spire was developed by Ithiro Sumi and his bros, and released in 2022. On Steam, it has a rating of 92%. It was ported by Gainamoth, and it can be picked up on Steam for $9.99. Made for Spooktober Game Jam 2023, this game is a visual novel. It's based off the Cute Fame universe, don't know what that is, with changes to make some things feel fresh. So this game was actually ready to run. I did download it despite not wanting to, but nothing actually displayed on the screen on my device. There was audio coming through, but nothing on the screen. But anyway, this game was ported by The Real Fame, and it is ready to run, if you can get it to run. I could not. Blowfly 2 Over Limit is a superhero-style platform action game. Use the protagonist's unique abilities to explore and collect pink poo babies in the map. This time, you will go deep into the enemy's lair, and challenge more powerful levels and enemies. Blowfly 2 Over Limit is a precision platformer with, again, this game has beautiful pixel art. It was developed by Sturbo and released in 2024. It's on Steam with a 96% positive rating, but that's only out of 30 reviews. This game was ported by Not Your Average Paladin. It does require the Steam files, where you can pick it up for $3.99, or if you act fast, it's on sale for 20% off. A roguelike royale-like about warriors from across space and time, fighting to claim a wish from the star of Athea. Strategize your tactics, enhance your troops, and outwit your opponents to rise to the top. Athea is a card game roguelike developed by Applove Studio. It's got an 85% on Steam, but a 100% recent reviews. It was ported by Slobsters, and this port requires either the Steam or the itch files. It can be picked up for $2.99 on each. However, because of the Steam Autumn Sale, you can pick it up for $1.49 currently. I didn't know there were so many good single-button games. I didn't know that was possible, but there really are. In Wrestle Jump 2, you push the button to extend your wrestler's legs, smash your opponent's head to the ground to score, first to 5 wins. I think this was one of the most fun, ready-to-run games that I played this month. It's just silly and fun. It was developed by Oto Ojala. There's no way I'm pronouncing that right. It was ported by Tab Return. This game is ready to run. However, there is a coffee page where you can support Oto. And of note, Amber Elec pre-release users may experience some graphical glitches, and Rocknix users must select Panfrost. SOS! Your space pod has made an emergency landing on a planet infested with giant insects from Verminest. Fight with your companions and survive while the hope of being evacuated by a rescue unit lasts. Verminian Trap is an arcade game developed by Loco Melito. It was ported by Gainamoth, and it is ready to run. Unciv is an open-source, modability-focused Android and desktop remake of Civilization V, made with libGDX. With a simple, lightweight design, it focuses on strategy, exploration, and building your empire. It was developed by the Unciv community, it was ported by Athea, and it is ready to run. And of note, if you're running it on smaller screens, there are in-game options to adjust the UI, which I did not do in my gameplay here. A fairly high difficulty bullet hell shooter. It is a total of 4 stages plus a last boss. Tukono is an arcade shooter developed by Nizakashi. It was ported by Mad Schmupper, and this port requires the itch.io files that you can get from Nizakashi's itch.io page for free. A horrible corruption has forced the children of the forest into hiding. They confide in the Treehouse Man, but their prayers remain unanswered. Baptized into the group, You must take the hollowed boat on an odyssey to save your brothers and sisters before the silence kills them. The Treehouse Man offers a seamless combination of real-time and turn-based combat, requiring equal amounts of execution and strategy to overcome. Configure the hollowed boat to your liking with different weapons, upgrades, and travel companions, exploring the winding rivers of the corrupt forest, meeting all of its quirky inhabitants, friends and foes alike. The Treehouse Man was developed by Hunchback Studio and released in 2019. It's got a 86% positive rating on Steam. It was ported by Ganamoth. This port does require the Steam files, where you can pick it up for $9.99, or on sale right now for $2.49. This game was made for Eco Jam 2024 with the theme of patterns. It is a fast-paced platformer with a speedrun timer. Every level is the previous level plus a twist or something new. This is how the theme is incorporated. Recursive Run was developed by Bump Dev. It was also ported by Dump Bev, and it is ready to run. Of note, often whenever I first started each one of these levels on this port, there would be a very slight freeze about a second into the level before everything went back to normal. Other than that, the game ran fine. You find yourself cut off from your family, in desperate need of a new liver to save your life. With 100,000 gold coins needed, you enter the pit, a cave full of money, monsters, and alcohol. You make it... Can you make it out in one piece? Matcha's World was developed by Digital God Tower. It was ported by Tab Return, and it's free, but you have to download the files from his itch.io page. A short strategy game that mixes dice mechanics with auto battler and deck building elements, wrapped in retro-inspired art and a playful Windows 93 vibe. Into the Deep Web was developed by John Topielski. It was ported by Tab Return, and it is ready to run. Of note for ArcOS users, when the battery warning is enabled and plays when the game starts, it can interfere with Godot's runtime audio detection. Navigate through a maze of mischievous park mechanisms, where dung balls are your key allies. Carefully plan the order of collection, movement routes, and merging timing to find the optimal solution in chaos. Holy you-know-what is a puzzle platformer developed by BelugaBot. It was ported by Tab Return, and it is ready to run. The Fruggle is real. 8 brave survivors need to protect Mother Earth from spacey invaders in this pixelated arcade-style 2D shoot-'em-up. Use different types of weapons to shoot the enemies, rack up your score, and don't get fruggled. Foreign Frugles was developed by Ultima Games. It has a 100% rating on Steam, but that's only of 10 reviews. This port can use either the itch.io or the Steam files. On itch, you can get it for $4.99, and on Steam, you can get it for $2.99. Fate Break is a casual, fantasy-inspired card combat game of strategy and chance. Cards are used to battle opponents until one player is left standing. Players begin the game with 5 hit points and are dealt a hand of 4 cards. Play moves clockwise through the summon, switch, and battle phases until all but one players are eliminated and a victor is crowned. Fate Break was developed by Comet Crystal Games. It was ported by Ganamoth, and this port requires the itch.io files. And by the way, you could probably tell I didn't know what I was doing in this gameplay footage. Cursed Castillia is an arcade action platformer full of creatures from medieval myths from Spain and the rest of Europe, as well as from chivalric romances. The extended version of the classic Maldita Castilla, originally created by the indie Loco Molito. So yeah, Maldita Castilla is probably one of the most famous ready-to-run games available on Portmaster, and this is an extended version of that game. It was developed by Loco Molito and Grizzer87. It was released in 2016. It's got a 93% rating on Steam. It was ported by Ganamoth, and this port requires the Linux version of the Steam files, and you can get it on Steam for $11.99 normally, or on sale right now for $7.79. Become a cat. Cattails is a unique animal simulation RPG. Hunt for food, fight invading cats, explore to gather herbs, and socialize with other cats in an expansive open world. Get married and raise a family of kittens. Befriend your neighbors and learn to live in the dangerous wilderness. It's Stardew Valley, but with cats. It even says that in the trailer. Cattails Become a Cat was developed by Falcon Development, released in 2017 with a Steam rating of 96%. It was ported by Ganamoth. This port does require the Steam files, where it can be purchased for $14.99 or $3.74 on sale. So this game was working, and I did play it, but I somehow lost the footage. This game is Carpet Gallery, an endless walker with procedural scenery and objects. Please remove your footwear upon entry. From what I played, I would describe it as kind of a surreal walking simulator. It generates rooms as you walk into them, and they're always strange looking. Carpet Gallery was developed by Ivy Sly, it was ported by Tab Return, and it is ready to run. A 2D platformer with a unique double jump mechanic using your own exploding head. It is unique, and it's hard to get used to, but it is fun. Bomber Pipe was developed by Club de Programación 2023, and it was ported by Tab Return, and it is ready to run. This is a mini shoot-'em-up. The boss appears when 8 large-numbered enemies are defeated. The stage is cleared when the boss is defeated. I don't know how to pronounce the name of this game. A-I-I-I call? Don't know. It was developed by Nizakashi, again, and it was ported by Mad Schmupper. The game is free, but it does require the files to be downloaded from itch.io. A fan-made Castlevania game where you play as Soma. Castlevania Tales of Night Moon was developed by Ikusatatsu. It was ported by Mad Schmupper, and it is free on itch.io. It requires the itch.io files. A mini shmup with a Fantasy Zone vibe. Shoot enemies, collect money, upgrade. Snail World is yet another game developed by Nizakashi. It was ported by Mad Schmupper, and this game is not ready to run, but it is free, so you can download the files from his itch.io page. And the only other thing is the game was originally made in Japanese and it was translated to English by Machine, so it might not be the most accurate thing ever. Explosive 2D pixel art action. Help the Skeleton Punchers defeat the Zerpian army of the night and recover the Patrician's horde before it's too late. Collect and upgrade power-ups, cycle through the day/night phases, complete stages, and bonus minigames to unlock new characters and equipment. Skeleton Punchers is a roguelike bullet hell developed by Mukti Chunk. Released in 2023, it's got a 94% on Steam. That's only out of 17 reviews though. It was ported by Slobsters, and this port does require the Steam files where it can be purchased for $2.99. Attack of the Pet Ski Robots is a top-down action puzzle game. This free version was developed by Robosoft for the MSX1. It is inspired by oblique, top-down projection games like Ultima, but takes much of the gameplay concepts from first-person shooters. The object is to destroy all of the robots. To do this, you have to search objects in the game for weapons and other items to help you along the way. Many scenarios require complex thinking and problem solving rather than just action shooting. Attack of the Pet Ski Robots Open MSX was developed by Slayer366, and the way that I understand it is the game itself is already included in the Portmaster download, but you will need to supply the MSX1 BIOS file, which the Portmaster page has the exact name of the file that you need listed there. This is a bullet hell shooter. It might be hard. Defeat all 4 stages, plus the final boss. Nihonobasa is yet another tiny shoot-'em-up game developed by Nizakashi. It was ported by Mad Schmupper, and this port is free but requires the itch.io files from Nizakashi. A roguelite where too much greediness can be fatal. A colorful world with armed birds blazing their way through piles of mutants, monsters, and creepy creatures. Lots of mysteries to unravel, secrets to discover, and levels to explore. Requires twin sticks. Blazing Beaks is a twin-stick roguelite developed by AppLava and released in 2019. It's got a 3.9 out of 5 on GOG, but that's only out of 7 reviews. It was ported by Fraxinus88. This port requires the GOG version of this game, where it's normally $14.99, but currently it's on sale for $3.74. That's quite a discount. Zniw Adventure is a hand-drawn point-and-click adventure game with a strong 90s vibe and cartoon animations. Play as Zniw, a yellow female dinosaur who is on a mission to find the ultimate gift for her mother's hatch day. Zniw Adventure was developed by Azure Mountain and released in 2020. It's got a Steam rating of 99%. It was ported by Pyrrole, and the Portmaster page doesn't specify which version of this game you need, but it is available on both Steam and GOG. I'm assuming either will work. This game is a little bit unique in that there's a free version that's ready to run on Portmaster, but the full version you can get for $8.99. And something to note, even though this game was listed as ready to run on the Portmaster page, it did not show up in my Portmaster application, which is part of why I'm showing you trailer footage instead of gameplay footage of me playing it. So I'm not completely sure why it's not showing up under ready to run games for me, but I'm assuming that's an issue that will be resolved. And similarly, our next game also had the same problem for me. Master your technique, execute flashy combos, and outsmart opponents across the world, frame by frame. Slow down the clock to fine-tune your fighting style in this innovative, turn-based combat simulator. Pulverize your friends and choreograph spectacular fight scenes, no training mode required. Your Only Move is Hustle was developed by Ivy Sly and released on Steam in 2023. This demo port was ported by Sinew Dev. If you did want the full game, it's available on Steam for $4.99, but this port just works with the demo. And like I said, this port is supposed to be listed as ready to run, but it did not actually show up in my Portmaster application. I'm sure a manual install would work, but I did not try that. So this is footage of the Steam version of this game. A puzzle game where you have to switch pieces in order to make a snowman. Hat on top, head, then body. With 3 single-player game modes, Stages, Forever, and Panic. Snowman Stack was developed by Elyson99 on itch. The game was ported by Tab Return, and it is ready to run. Rockbox is a free open-source firmware replacement for digital audio players, offering an alternative to the original operating system. It's designed to be highly customizable with features like advanced equalizers, themes, and support for various file formats. So this is actually the port that I am most excited about this month. I didn't have any music on this device to show it off, and I didn't have any legally playable music that I could play on a YouTube video anyway, so I'll just talk about it for a minute. If there's 2 things I'm known for on YouTube at this point, it's making monthly Portmaster videos and trying to use retro handhelds as digital audio players even though they're not suited for that. And now, Rockbox, which is an operating system that was originally meant as a replacement for the iPod operating system for everyone that's doing iPod mods now, it it greatly expands the possibility of iPods, but also Rockbox has been ported to all kinds of other devices now. Rockbox has support for high-fidelity audio files, so FLAC files being probably the most common. So that's exciting. And I assume it's device-dependent, but at least running Rockbox on this 35XXH, the screen would automatically black out to, save battery life. I assume there's a bunch of devices that are going to have that functionality, but again, I assume that'll be device-dependent. But yeah, this monthly showcase here, this is not going to be the last time you see the support of Rockbox on this channel. Run Maverick Run is a game about this person's dog, Maverick, who never stops running and eating. The game was made in 48 hours for the Patch Notes v1.0 Game Jam. Run Maverick Run was developed by Seafern, and also ported by Seafern, and because this game is included in Portmaster, you might even say that Maverick is ready to run. We'll go ahead and end it there on the world's most witty joke. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If this video was helpful, leave a like. If you have any suggestions, leave a comment, or if you have any helpful information about any of the games covered this week, leave a comment for the benefit of us all. I'm sorry, I'd like to apologize for this video coming out a little bit late. I really do not have very much free time in my schedule, and these videos are way more time-consuming than you might think. Despite that, I would still like to improve the quality of these videos. If you would like to help me do that, leave a like, leave a helpful comment, and make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching.